to a big exclusive, Times Now exclusive that we have now accessed. This is a diary that has now been recovered from Arpita's house that we have here details of. Remember, this is the cash haul and the entire details of this black diary that has now been accessed here on Times Now. We will shortly go across to our reporters as well. But remember, this black diary has been recovered during the investigation and this now holds the key. And Times Now is super exclusively, in fact, breaking these details. This was recovered from Arpita Mukherjee's residence. It belongs to the Depth of Higher and School Education Government of Bengal. And what's incriminating here is that pages 1 to 40 clearly shows, and there are codes being used in these notes. My colleague Tanushri now joins us on this broadcast. Yes, Tanushri, what exactly does this particular diary hold in it?
Well, if you see, yesterday we had got exclusive access to Arpita's Caesar list, the Caesar list that was made from Arpita's house, and there was one mention of a black diary, and the black diary is of the Department of Higher Education and School Education Government of West Bengal. Now, the biggest question that comes up is that why this black diary with this writing of Higher Education of West Bengal, Government of West Bengal, be present in Arpita's residence. Also, we know that special officers have come down to decode the code that is there in this black diary, because as we are getting to know from ED sources that this black diary is of 40 pages and there are writings in codes, and this code certainly has to be broken because this might incriminate various other leaders. Or the question that comes up is that whether this black diary consists of names of those who have illegally obtained the job and the amount that is mentioned over there, or does it incriminate any other minister or any other leader. That is also going to be questioned. Now, we know that Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee, their questionings have begun. Partha Chatterjee had arrived today morning at the CGO complex from Bhubaneswar, and post 10 a.m. the questionings have begun. They are both kept in two separate rooms. Partha Chatterjee is being questioned by two ED officers, while Arpita Mukherjee is being questioned by one lady officer and one male officer. Now, the questions that would be there, certainly the question of the black diary and two other diaries that have been found, those will also be asked, because we know that yesterday ED had submitted that this scam is of over 120 crores. Now, 21 crores has been found in cash from Arpita's residence. Where is the remaining 100 crores? That is a very big question, and that will be asked by the ED. We also know that the Enforcement Directorate yesterday had gone ahead and told the court that Partha Chatterjee is completely uncooperative. He was refusing to sign the arrest memo. He was refusing to answer any question at his residence, which is why the questioning in custody was required. And we are also getting to know from ED sources that later in the day, later in the evening, most likely Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee would be put face to face and interrogated together.
Absolutely, Tanushri, because we have also accessed several questions that were possibly asked by the ED. They would like to know what exactly does this black diary hold within it, specifically talking about those 40 pages, and what do these codes really signify. This really means that this possibly also holds within it the money trail and how they were gaining access to things, and under what circumstances was the committee formed, and who was controlling and instructing this committee as well.
Well, certainly these are going to be some of the questions that are already going to be put forth to Partha Chatterjee, because we know that Partha Chatterjee has claimed that he has no idea about what the functioning of the committee was. Nobody had informed him about the functioning of the committee. But certainly the ED would be questioning that if when he was in charge, he was the education minister and he had formed the committee, then who were the persons from outside the committee who were instructing the committee to do these illegal activities? Now, certainly these questions would also be coming up. We know that Partha Chatterjee, according to sources, has been very evasive in answering these questions, but certainly the ED feels that if Partha Chatterjee remains in their custody, and they have got 10-day custody, they would be making some breakthrough in the investigation.
And Tanushri, the ED, the big charge coming in from the Enforcement Directorate in this matter is that this diary is certainly key to them to decode the money trail that they were had access to, how the proceeds of the crime and layers via Arpita is also now under focus, because that's where all these things have been found. Apart from that large amount of cash, the trail also leads her to firms and properties that were in the name of Arpita Mukherjee.
Well, certainly, if you see, there have been seizures made from Partha Chatterjee's residence also, and there are mentions of certain firms which are in Arpita Mukherjee's name. We've also seen that there are some jointly bought property by Partha Chatterjee and Arpita Mukherjee, which the ED alleged that since Partha Chatterjee and Arpita have been in a close relationship since 2012, they have been buying property jointly. But one of the biggest things that the EDs are saying through the ED sources we are getting to know is that they are looking into Arpita Mukherjee and Partha Chatterjee's travels abroad, because they are thinking there might be a Hawala link. Arpita might be used by certain leaders to take money abroad, because as you know from the arrest memo and from the seizure memos that we have accessed, that Arpita Mukherjee had also had foreign currency in her possession. So why this foreign currency? What were her tools? Where was she going? That is going to be looked into, because the ED is suspecting that there might be a Hawala trail also.
Absolutely. And Tanushri, coming back to those pertinent questions by the ED and coming back to the property that is also under the scanner under the name of Arpita Mukherjee, since 2012, she's been questioned about how there are about 37 hard disks recovered from Arpita, what is the source of the money to buy those flats that have been under her name, and were the proceeds of crime laundered via Arpita Mukherjee?
Well, certainly the ED is questioning her regarding the amount of property that she owns, because we've seen there is a huge amount of property that is being owned by Arpita. But even on the first day when she was questioned, she had categorically stated that she is an actress. She has worked in Bengali movies, in Oriya movies, she's worked in serials, she's a model, which is why she has been able to garner this amount of money. But certainly when she was asked to produce documents, she was unable to produce any documents to prove the legality and the ownership of these properties by her. So therefore, certainly there is a huge question that how was she able to earn so much? How was she able to acquire so much property? And these are not just any property. These are very poshly located areas where the properties are of Arpita Mukherjee. So therefore, she is very much under the scanner, and she is being questioned about these properties. Also, she is being questioned about the 21 crores that has been found at her residence in cash. So the ED will also be asking her questions as to how she had acquired this amount of cash and from whom she had acquired this amount of cash. Back to studio.